Las Vegas Grand Prix. Let's go. Back in F1, 3 weeks off. Let's go, boys. And a new background I'm trying out. Hope you like it. It looks pretty cool, I think. I put some thought and effort into it, so I hope you like it. As far as I'm concerned, the championship's over. Norris completely bottled it. He finished all his chances he had in Brazil with that mistake into turn 1, and even that, he just was no match for Verstappen. Verstappen 17th to first. It was all for Norris to win, and he bottled it. As far as chances go, Verstappen will probably win a championship here in Las Vegas, which for him will be awful, but we'll get onto that in a moment. But all Norris needs to do is keep it going. He's outscored by 3 points just to keep his dying hopes alive. But I'm far off who's going to go win the Las Vegas Grand Prix. It's the Prancing Horse, I think, will be the favourites, as they've just looked the best, bar Brazil. Before that, Mexico, and in Austin, they've just looked unbeatable. So I think Ferrari will be the favourites here. And it's just to look at the recent form and the fact that they did so well here last year. That amazing overtake Leclerc made on Perez right at the end of the race. Fair play. It wasn't too far off Verstappen either, so I think Ferrari will convincingly win this one. And speaking of Sergio Perez, he's basically guaranteed this seat for next year. No one's ever probably going to take that from him, at least until halfway through next season, until Helmut Marko gets sick of him. As Kit Kat is now the official chocolate brand for F1. I never thought I'd say that. Kit Kat is the official chocolate brand for Formula 1. You wouldn't think Formula 1 to have a chocolate brand, and maybe like some sort of sports drink or energy drink or something like athletic. Nah, fucking chocolate. But they're paying a lot. Apparently they're paying Red Bull something like 40 million or something like that. That's from what I've heard. So that is quite a lot of money, and definitely covers the cost of, first of all, losing the cost of money in the Constructors' Championship. So if Perez kept on form, kept finishing within, say, the top 5 or 6, they'd probably still be leading the Constructors' Championship by 50 points or so. And of course, for all the crashes he's had this year. And the worst thing about this Kit Kat thing is the ads we're going to get. It's like, take a break, snap a Kit Kat, eat it. That's the slogan. And we're gonna, oh god, I can visualize like a driver coming for the pit stop, taking their helmet off, have a Kit Kat. I'm not looking forward to it. It's really gonna be awful, I think. Please, Kit Kat, please don't make any cheesy adverts to do with Formula 1 and make them really cringe. Please don't do that. I beg of you. Put your brand wherever you want. Just don't make adverts with the drivers that we like. It just makes my skin crawl. It's just it's too commercial. Stop, guys. Let's see some racing. Williams looked like they weren't even gonna make this race, as they had so many crashes in Brazil with Colapinto and Albon crashing the car so much. Sure, it was a hard weekend for them, and one of them Williams mechanics, to see him just sitting there like,
why are we still here?
Like his whole life just fell apart, and I can get it, because he's just built a car, now he's got to rebuild a car. Oh, both cars have crashed. Oh, now he's got to rebuild a car. Both cars didn't even finish. Both cars didn't even get through qualifying. So, God bless the Williams crew, man, but good thing they've got the cars into Las Vegas, and I think they could definitely do well here, as their car is very slippery, it's very fast in a straight line. They went brilliant here last year. I think they qualified on the 3rd row, so completely out of character for Williams, especially for last year. So good opportunity for them to pick up some big points and maybe get into that battle for 6th in the Constructors. Or let's give themselves a foothold to try and catch maybe VCarb or Haas, or maybe even Alpine if they get that much of a good result. I expect good racing, as it was actually pretty decent last year. It was a lot better than I thought it would be. The track does look boring, but it does produce some decent racing and overtaking. And of course, it is a street circuit. We may have some crashes, as we saw Lando Norris crash out last year, and well, if he does that, the championship is 100% over. And the cringy shows that they put on, especially at the start, and Verstappen is extremely vocal about this. He says it's 90% show, 1% sport. And Max isn't hesitant on what he thinks about Las Vegas. It's just a big show to put on, and yeah, I agree, to be honest. I am not a Max Verstappen fan. I haven't really been a Max Verstappen fan ever, but to be fair, recently I'm actually warming up to Max. I'm quite liking him with his just simple, blunt attitude, where he just doesn't give a shit, especially with all like the media stuff going on in the press conferences, his language and whatnot. He doesn't care. He's the best driver on the grid at the moment, and I think people just take any chance at him to try and get a headline or a bit of monetary gain for themselves. But I actually support Max within what he thinks of the sport right now, and how things are just a bit ridiculous, and it's just a show and not really think about the racing. As I don't care about the pre-show 90% of the time. Like, I accidentally tuned into the Brazilian Grand Prix pre-show. It was like George Russell and Ted Travis flying a jet or something. I couldn't care less about what they're doing off the track. I just want to see good bloody racing. That's all I'm interested in. And I'm sure the drivers themselves want to have good racing as well, because it's what they're there to do, isn't it? And of course, we did have problems last year with the manhole covers. One came up, almost destroyed Carlos Sainz's right instep, and of course because of that there wasn't a lot of Friday running, and Verstappen said that he would, if he was a fan, he would tear the whole place down, because obviously the tracks made their money, and that was his point, that the tracks already made the money. They sold the outrageously expensive tickets. It's very much a degenerate city. I'm very much not keen on it, to be fair. I'm not interested in this gambling. I've heard it's not that much of a glamorous place as it's made out to be. And honestly, I have no interest in F1 being in Las Vegas. I don't think it should be. It's a motorsport. I want to see the Nürburgring, Hockenheim, what some other tracks that aren't coming out, Turkey, all these other circuits. I want to see them back on there, but money talks in F1, I guess. Which is why we see lots of Middle Eastern tracks. Sure, it's great we're getting a new fan base with a new part of the world that hasn't really been tapped in before the 2000s, but it's, of course, the oil money talks, and when that dries up, we'll see how many Middle Eastern races we have left on the calendar. But for Verstappen's sake, I hope he doesn't win a championship in Vegas, as it's probably going to be some cringy show. He'll be there, just probably couldn't care less, and want to be probably at home, rather probably do that than have to deal with whatever they have to present for him. But into my predictions. I said Ferrari would be the fastest, and I'm going to say Charles Leclerc will win the race. He just looks so good at the moment, especially with that Ferrari. The combination is just gelling so well together, and it's going to obviously help him swing loads of momentum into 2025. I'm thinking Norris will finish second place, just behind Leclerc. In a pretty close race, I'd imagine. I think Verstappen will flop in third. This will draw the title one. I'm going to say Verstappen purposely doesn't want to win a championship here because of the cringy show that will be put on. He'd rather win it on a Saturday in Qatar, I reckon. Carlos Sainz fourth in the second Ferrari. I just believe that they'll prioritise Leclerc over Sainz, simply Ferrari, as Sainz has got 3 more races left at that team. And I think George Russell will sneak in a top 5 finish as well for Mercedes. So let me know what your predictions are for the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Will Verstappen win a championship or not? Will he purposely delay it to Qatar? Or maybe even just crash out on purpose? Want to see more? Subscribe, like, comment, tell me what your predictions are. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say. Hopefully it won't be a cringy show, but it probably will be, but yeah, we'll see.